Hey guys, Sskur'gg here, back again with another action figure review of, quite frankly, my favorite figure from the Cosmic Legion's Outpost Zaxxius wave. And I know some of you out there are probably scratching your heads like, really? This guy? He doesn't have a whole lot new going on. Well, sometimes less is more, people. And good old Sskur'gg, aka Not Whiplash, brought to us by the fine folks over at Horsemen Studios, embodies that tenfold. Because for those of you not in the know, he is a repaint of one of the better figures from the Mythic Legion's Poxus wave, Sskur'gg. And funny enough, we ended the Poxus wave with a review of Sskur'gg, and now we're ending the Outpost Zaxxius wave with a review of Sskur'gg, who is a big old honkin' space dragon. I'm noticing a pattern here. Maybe we should end Necronominus with the Turpiculi. I mean, that thing's a dragon, right? Kinda, sorta, with 4 arms and looks a little bit more like a cacodemon. Either way, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into meat and taters of this video and take a look-see at all Sskur'gg has to offer in terms of accessories. Starting off with a pair of fists, something I think the Many-Faces homage would have benefited from, as well as a functioning bubble helmet accessory, but I don't want to get into that here because I wanted to chuck that thing across the room when I was done recording that review. That said, I also have a pair of open hands. We're used to seeing these by now. They came with Kragnar first. Actually, they might have come with this guy first because he was a PowerCon debut. Because that's the inevitable fate of most 4 Horsemen Masters of the Universe homage characters, whether it's a Cosmic or a Mythic Legion. That's typically where they end up first. Speaking of Kragnar, we do have the Kragnar head, which is cool and probably a little bit closer to Whiplash as far as the shape of the face, but screw that. I want this dragon head. It's so much cooler. And we also get the ogre scale weapon pieces. Actually, the same ones as a Hazar. Been a while since I did that little ditty. But aside from the end being different, which this guy's end feels a little bit gummier, these are like the same molds and bits and everything that old Azahazar came with. Azahazar. And last but not least, because this is really cool, he comes with a 2000X Whiplash homage weapon. 2000X Whiplash had this kind of blade spear thing, and this is kind of to represent the spear end. This is to represent the blade end. That's freaking cool, man. This is for all the 2000X kids like myself who grew up on 2000X, really like 2000X, especially 2000X Whiplash, and he had a really cool weapon. I think they made a classics version of it too, but that's your lot. That's a decent spread, all things considered. I mean, this guy was the most expensive figure in the wave, so it's nice that they kitted him out, but I think you get everything you need. I don't think you really need much else here. That said, I wouldn't have minded seeing the Sskur'gg harness and pauldrons on this guy other than the one he's got, the harness he's got. But that's just a personal preference. And, you know, those are mythic parts. These are cosmic parts. I want to say these gauntlets are mythic parts, too. These look like the Sskur'gg gauntlets, just in a different color. That said, he's got the little lone loop on the back. And you can actually put that one of the weapons in there, so that's cool. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, he's got the double ball peg in the head. pretty snug there, but he can look up. He can look up a lot. Holy crap! You can open his mouth real wide. I will say his jaw was a little stuck. That was about my only gripe with this figure, or issue with this figure out of package, other than one other thing. We'll get to that in a minute here, but nothing that warrants any replacement parts. That said, his shoulders go out, back down, rotate forward and back. He's got a single elbow. Gets you about 90 degrees and rotates. He's got a swivel and a hinge in the wrist. Not the appropriate hinge, but whatever. It's better than no hinge, I guess. His torso is on a double ball peg here. You can get some decent leaning out of that. Sorry, he's kicking the thing I'm using to hold the iPad up. His waist is rock solid. It'll turn, but you might want to heat it a little bit. You do get your rotation out of the diaphragm, though. He does have the Sskur'gg kind of harness there, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it works on Sskur'gg. It's okay on this guy. I think he's got the a new upper torso or something. Does he have the Sskur'gg back bits? I think he does. Honestly can't tell. I think he does. Yeah, he does. He's got the Sskur'gg back bits that you can pop out and put another pair of arms back there. But they are very tight on him. He's actually packaged with these, so maybe heat up the back before you go trying to crank those out. So honestly, they don't really want to come out, so I might try that after off cam. He does have the tail, which was as big of a pain in the butt as it was to get on a Sskur'gg, as it was to get on him. So you do get one rotation point there, and it does look very whiplashy with the scales and everything. His hips will kick out, back down, very nice and tight here. You can hear him squeak, but I'm not gonna put any soap or anything in there. I don't think it needs it. I think it's fine. He's got a thigh cut. He's got a swivel below the knee. He's got a single knee. Knee's a little loose. Little bit on this guy. This side, not so much. But he has the upper leg and the foot to kind of compensate for that knee. And really, once it's bent, it's fine. But that is a little looser than I would personally like, but it's fine. He does have the tail, too. If I'm not mistaken, my Sskur'gg was kind of like that. He's got the ball hinge ankles. Again, nice and tight there. No complaints. He's got a rocker. And that's it. That's your lot for Sskur'gg. He is an awesome figure. My favorite of the wave. And I'm sure some people are scratching their heads at that one, but hey, at the end of the day, I didn't get this guy at PowerCon like some lucky ducklings out there, so this is initial reactions and whatnot, and I'm very happy with this figure. I think he came out great. He's got that little bit of an issue with the knee there, and mine's jaw was a little stuck, but obviously it works now. So that's okay, but yeah, man, I gotta tell you, compared to Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions is not as good. Not to me, anyways. I think it has potential, but they got a lot of stuff to work out. I'm gonna not get into that here. I already did it yesterday in the Manny Faces video, even though I said I wasn't going to, because I already got into it in the Cavern Sphex, aka the Sphexian Minor video, but the loose joints thing, gotta put a stop to that somehow. I don't know how, They're going to have to figure that out. They're the ones who make the toys, but, you know, we don't need a return of the Covenant of Shadow levels of looseness, and I think we're getting awful close, because I have had a couple of those figures, and they were pretty loose. So, with that being said, before we wrap this up, bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus. Speaking of Mythic Legions, a figure who's not loose despite his age. Old bro man, held up quite nicely over the years, despite the fact he's in every video on this channel just about. And was the first video I ever posted on this channel, by the way. We also have the infamous 11 Spawn. Might as well mention him. He's been standing there a minute. And, yeah. He's not towering over everyone, because this dude's a big old honking space dragon. I mean, what more could you possibly ask for, right? So with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the fact that good old Sskur'gg here is a repaint of one of the better figures from the Mythic Legion's Poxus wave, that of course being Arakagor, for those of you who weren't paying attention. And for those of you who weren't paying attention, shame! That said, on top of the fact that he is a big old honkin' green space dragon, and that is awesome, of the two Masters of the Universe homage figures from this Outpost Zaxxius wave, the other one of course being Operative 83, in homage to Man-E-Faces, Sskur'gg here makes much better use of his accessories, because not only can I use them with Sskur'gg himself, but I can also use them with other characters, unlike Operative 83, who could barely use what little accessories he comes with himself. Thus, making good old Sskur'gg here my favorite of the two Motu homages from this wave, and one of my favorite Motu homages in Legion's history, despite the fact I don't have Galtus yet. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.